Celtic mythology? Celtic mythology is the folklore of Celtic polytheism and the religion of the Iron Age Celts. The early Celts maintained a polytheistic tradition and a religious structure. Their mythology did not survive the Roman Empire, their following conversion to Christianity, and their loss of the Celtic languages. It is mostly through modern-day Roman and Christian sources that their mythology has been preserved. The Celtic peoples who maintained either their political or verbal identities left shrunken fragments of their ancestral mythologies put into written form during the Middle Ages. Let's see what's happening in Ireland, originally Western Europe. The creation stories. Celtic mythology does not have a single version or description of the creation, as other religions and mythologies do. There are several creation myths that involve extremely violent methods. In this version, giants were regarded as the ancient original gods. In the first winter, an enormous powerful giant was created from the hoarfrost. Fire came and melted the giant. The remnants of his body formed the various parts of our universe. The giant's body formed the world, his blood flowed freely, creating the seas and oceans. The mountains were created from his bones, the forests and trees sprung from his hair, and his skull became the sky. The first historical record of the Celts was by the Greeks about 700 BC. The Celts were a tribe that lived in an area north of the Alps around the Danube River in Central Europe. Over the next few hundred years, they spread east and west across Europe. The Celts first arrived in Ireland about 500 BC, but there is no reliable information on how or when the Celts became the dominant Irish ethnic group. It is thought the Celts arrived gradually, spreading slowly across the country. By 5th century AD and the arrival of Christianity, the Celtic language was being spoken all over the island of Ireland. Although many of their cultural traditions remain evident in present-day Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, there is a very small amount of people who still believe and practice. Celtic mythology is a polytheistic religion. There are several gods and goddesses who control the different aspects of life. Taranis is the god of thunder. Niamh is the daughter of the god of the sea and one of the queens of the land of eternal youth. Cuchulainn is the son of the solar god. Nuada was the first king of the tribe of gods. Gwen is the god of springtime. Morrigan is the goddess of battle. Adaga is the god of magic. Cernunnos is the god of animals and the wild hunt. Cabir is the god of speed and bards, and Lear is the god of the storm and the sea. These are just a few gods. Those who believe in Celtic mythology must also believe in animism and naturism. They believe that all aspects of the natural world contain spirits and that these spirits could be communicated with. These animistic gods and goddesses were often worshipped in places where there were rocks, streams, mountains, and trees, and had shrines or offerings devoted to a deity residing there. Some were deities of major natural manifestations, such as the sun and the moon. The Celts did not worship the sun, but saw it as a symbol for that part of spirituality. These deities were generally worshipped across the Celtic lands. Many of the Irish legends are made up of stories about adventure, great battles, voyages, invasions, and gods, but today they're divided into 4 main categories. The mythological cycle of Irish legends is made up of stories about former gods and the origins of the Irish. The cycle of kings contains stories of the legendary kings of Ireland. The Finian cycle is stories based around the Irish mythical hero, Finn McCumaill, and his warriors, who lived in the forests as mercenaries and bandits and hunters. The Ulster cycle is about legends and heroes of Ulaid, Eastern Ulster, and Northern Leinster. For centuries, Celtic symbols have held incredible influence for the ancient Celts in life. These ancient peoples used Celtic symbols that have become a part of the Irish identity and heritage. The Celtic cross can be interpreted in several ways. Some people believe that it represents the 4 cardinal directions. Others believe that it represents the 4 elements. The Triskelion can signify many things, such as land, sea, and sky, or life, death, and rebirth. Fun fact, the Triskelion has played a major part in the TV show Teen Wolf. The Trinity knot symbolizes eternal spiritual life. one with no beginning or end. The Celts find meaning through the rituals as it helps to structure their lives. The rituals have explained forces. When it comes to rituals, the Celts certainly believe in mythological and superior forces. Death rituals include a big feast in the graveyard area, including a piece of meat and a container with a drink, most often a beer or wine, especially for the rich or dead. Transmigration rituals. These include initiation rites, such as name-giving, initiation rites to kinship, and death rites. There was a story about a mother who tricked her son into giving him a name, and after 3 initiations, he is finally considered a man. The community of the ancient Celts were organized through druids, bards, and ovates. The druids were legal authorities and political advisors. The bards were professional storytellers, verse makers, music composers, oral historians, and genealogists. The ovates were prophets, seers, healers, and spiritualists. In Celtic mythology, one must follow the 9 Celtic virtues and the 6 principles. The 9 Celtic virtues are integrity, friendship, generosity, wisdom, self-knowledge, trust, humility, courage, and innocence. They must also follow the 6 principles, which are honor, loyalty, hospitality, honesty, justice, and courage. Celtic mythology is full of symbolism of life, death, and rebirth, complete with the magic of nature in the ancient world. Although it is a very interesting religion, it is not as widely practiced as it was centuries ago.